Hello everybody and welcome back to Operation Logistics, where we are actually getting pretty close to having some semblance of gameplay. It's a little scary of a thought. Okay, so we've got our hex manager.selected hex here, and this should pop up when we select a hex. So, you have now selected a hex. In the upper box, you can see some information about this hex. In the lower box, you can see there is one delivery vehicle slot in this structure. Click on this slot, or rather click on this. Click on the delivery vehicle to purchase one to fill that spot. Okay. So click on the delivery vehicle. Click on the vehicle delivery slot specifically. Okay. Go ahead and refresh that. And then, when do we unpause? Well, we need to implement a new unpause function, so let's go into our... It's been a while. Let's go into our advisor object. And then this will be public virtual void unpause on purchasing delivery vehicle. If method equals null, we're doing the same thing here as normal. Do setup. Method equals unpause on purchasing delivery vehicle. Should unpause equals false. Else method equals... Okay. And then if we're up here, question is, how do we detect that we've actually done it? We can do a call to business, an event here. So essentially we can do a public void on purchase on purchase vehicle. If tutorial script dot current element dot method equals tutorial script dot current element dot unpause on purchasing delivery vehicle, then tutorial script dot current element dot unpause. There we go. So there's that implemented. Let's make sure that this is selecting the correct one. So unpause on purchasing delivery vehicle. There we go. Next, in our interaction panel, we've got our layout group here. So one thing we should do is we should say that we've got... We should implement a couple of things here. First off, our button here, I think we should implement, or rather we should name as vehicle slot. And then this can be vehicle slot text. Okay. So then the question is, how do we go about storing this? We're going to need to implement an actual script. And where do we store the script? Is the question. I don't know. It's going to be kind of a big project, and I'm at the end of this recording session, so I kind of don't want to get started on that immediately. So I think for now, what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to say, we're going to go into the hex selection window, is what I'm looking for. And the first thing we want to do is we've already got the button in here. We're going to need the public tmpro.textmeshpro UGUI, and this is going to be the button text. There we go. And then we're going to go ahead and place the button text in here so that we can actually modify the button text based on the script that we're going to implement later on, probably in the next episode. And we should go ahead and say something along the lines of for int I equals 1, interestingly, I is less than, and this is going to be balance.vehicle capacity plus. And then we're going to create a new instance here. And I would like to put in a public list of buttons. And we'll call this vehicle slots. And let's make sure that we already have this first one in here. Or rather, maybe we should make that a prefab. Do we have any UI prefabs currently? I believe we do not. Let's go ahead and create a folder, UI, and let's have this be vehicle slot, and we can delete this. And then we can have this, rather than being a button, we can have this be a public game object, vehicle slot prefab. We can place this right up here, like so. And then we can instantiate these, bring this back down to I equals 0. We can instantiate these on selection, and then have a private void, or rather, at the beginning of on enable, we can go through and destroy all of the ones in vehicle slots. For each game object, because this should be a game object now instead of a button, so game object vehicle slot, for each game object go in vehicle slots, we are going to go ahead and destroy game object. So destroy go. And then we are going to call vehicle slots.clear. So we just reset it every time we do this. We could use object pooling, but I'm too lazy. Okay, so here we can go ahead and spawn these in, but we are going to need to have a public rect transform vehicle layout group. Let's go ahead and put that in. So, hang on. Hex selection window is the one that we need. Vehicle layout group here. And then our vehicle slots prefab can go there. And then we will go ahead and say we are going to instantiate vehicle slots prefab. And the parent is going to be vehicle layout group. No, not vehicle slot prefab, vehicle layout group. Okay. I think that's all we need. Let's just test this quick. At least as soon as it goes. Can take it a little while sometimes. We're going to skip this tutorial though, because we actually don't need to be checking to see if the tutorial works. Oh, I have to disable the hex manager.selected, or the hex selection window. There we go. I always forget to do that kind of thing. Okay, come on. You can do it. You can generate those biomes. Come on. There we go. Okay, we will skip that tutorial. Then we will head on in here. Head on in here. Okay. So, I mean, obviously that's too long and overflowing a little bit. You can see there, the facility upkeep is $120 a month, but we don't actually care about that because it's not ours. And then that's interesting. It's not actually... Oh, right. It wouldn't do that, would it? Because it only calls it when you enable it. So in the business here... Where are you? Here you are. When we do this, set active true, we should manually call xSelectionWindow.onEnable if we can. Inaccessible due to its protection level. Is that something we can actually change, though? I think it is. So let's go to our hex selection window here and change this to a public void on enable. And even if Unity no longer calls it, which I think it still will, I'm pretty sure that that will now work. I'm reasonably certain of this. So let's recompile it and run this once more. Eventually, it'll get all of its biomes generated, and with any luck, now it'll actually update as we click around. That would sure be nice. Okay, we'll skip that tutorial, we don't really care. We'll head on over here. We've got ourselves this duplex, and then we've got ourselves this apartment complex. Yeah! That's working fine. Perfect. Let's go ahead and go into buy land mode. We're going to purchase this apartment complex. Confirm. Now we're going to demolish it. Go into interaction mode none. We select this. So it doesn't update as we are doing things when we have this open. That's something we should consider, and something we should probably think about fixing. We could just have it update every so often. It might not be the worst idea, or we could just update it every frame. But for right now, let's hop into... Oh my. That's a little exciting. Let's hop into here, build ourselves a postal office. There we go. We've now got ourselves a postal office. We select this. We've got our DVU. That did indeed spawn in. Excellent. Okay, for the purposes of testing, let's go ahead and give ourselves a bunch of money. Let's give ourselves about 50,000. There we go. So we now have 50,000 bucks. Let's go ahead and purchase this apartment complex. Confirm. Let's knock it on down. And then let's put in a car berth. Okay. Then we select that, and you can see we've got 4 delivery vehicles, and it did indeed put in all 4 slots. Hang on, it put in 5 slots. Now why did it do that? Oh, look at that. That's exciting stuff right there. It's not actually destroying them. Oh, because we didn't add it to the list. We never added it to the list. That's why. So let's let's go ahead and add it. Vehicle slots dot add, and then we're just going to add in this instantiation. There. Easy peasy. Now, one thing we could very well do is we could have all of this only happen in the on enable, but all of this happen in the update. Like so. Although we do need a reference to balance there. But that's fine. That's not difficult to do. So I mean, now this will update every frame based on what we have selected. It does bear noting that we need a reference to building as well. And we'll go ahead and put that here. Like so. Delete that line, add a line there. Nice. Okay, so we've got that. And there are a lot of issues with the hex selection window right now. Like, it needs to go away when you enter construction mode. That's for sure. So, if we go into the business here and we do on construction, we should do on enter construction mode. Just straight up construction mode. And we should say hex selection window dot game object dot set active false. That should go away if we enter construction mode. Okay. Let's run this once more. And that's by no means the only problem with the hex selection window, but that's a problem with the hex selection window. So we'll go ahead and get rid of that when we enter construction mode. Realistically, when we enter basically any mode, it should get rid of it. But we're going to skip the tutorial, and we're going to hop on down over here. Down over here, we're going to go ahead and buy ourselves this mall. That'll do. There we go. We're going to demolish it. Cost 300 bucks. Excellent. And I'm going to construct ourselves a postal office. Boom. There we go. And we're going to just add in some money so that we can test this. And then we are going to go into buy land mode, and we're going to buy this storefront. Confirm. And then we're going to demolish the storefront. And then we're going to construct ourselves a car berth. There we go. Interaction mode none. And we now see that this postal office is costing us $25 a month. Although this isn't actually adding up over here. That's something we will need to implement. It's got a sorting capacity of 10 per hour, a loading capacity of 10 per hour. Actually, we need to change that. It should be 10 meters cubed per hour. And then a vehicle capacity of 1 delivery vehicle in this postal office. And then in this car berth, we've got 4 delivery vehicles. And now you can see it's actually properly clearing the buttons. Excellent. So 40 per hour should have the unit in it for the loading capacity. So let's go ahead and hop into here and do our... that would be in the hex selection window. So this would be meter cubed per hour. There we go. Perfect. So the next thing that I want to toss in here, just real quick, is I want our expected expenditure to also be... Okay, let's, for each int3 owned hex in owned hexes, we will go ahead and say okay, I need to make a quick change here. I just had a thought that is, if you don't own a hex, or if you own a hex with nothing in it, it's going to be costing you $120 a month. Now, I do think that an empty hex should cost you a little bit of money. We'll have it be around 10 a month. Okay, so for each int3 owned hex in owned hexes, expected expenditure plus equals, and this will be getting our building type out of the owned hex. So that would be hex manager, or just manager. Manager, no. We don't have a reference to it here, do we? Oh boy. Okay. We need one. Public hex manager. Okay, we'll go ahead and toss that in before I forget. Come on, go ahead and compile. There we go. Hex Manager will go in... Where is it? Oh, unexpected symbol. It's not compiling because of this. Manager dot get world hex by index owned hex dot world hex dot biome hexes owned hex dot biome hex dot buildings owned hex dot building hex. And then this will be actually getting the balance dot get building balance from type, because this will just return us the type, like so. So get building balance from type, we grab all of that, dot upkeep. Okay, that'll get us what we actually need there. But we do need a reference to the manager. Let's go ahead and grab that. So here's our manager, and we'll just plop in the hex manager. And let's just make sure that this actually works. So we'll play this, and then we will make sure that this all actually works. And then in the next episode, we will go about implementing, making the button actually purchase a delivery vehicle and storing that we have that done. So we'll skip this tutorial for now, and we just are interested in coming on down here and going into land management by land, and our expenditure should immediately go up when we purchase this. And it did not. Why did it not? Because it only calculates it on month tick. That's why. This expected expenditure should probably be recalculated in the update for right now. Okay. Is that going to just work without restarting the game? I don't know if it is or not. We'll try. It may or may not. But we also may have a million null reference exceptions. Yeah, reference scripts are unknown. Let's go ahead and rerun this. Come on. One of these days. Why is my hard drive spinning up right now? Okay, that's weird. Okay, let's come on in here, and we are going to buy land here. There we go. So that costs $10 monthly. And then we go ahead and demolish that mall. It still costs $10 monthly. And then we're going to go ahead and build a postal office, and it's now $25 monthly. Perfect. Okay, so that's now working. I'm going to go ahead and put a cut in here, and next episode we will implement purchasing vehicles as well as the ability to... what am I thinking? There was a second thing that was very important that I wanted to make sure happened. Yes, storing that we had purchased the vehicles, and essentially having a record of that for each building. That will be in the next episode. See you all then.